Today we will see about feature extraction. Now within this feature extraction, we will see how to reduce or how to extract the features. So that we will see today. Now, so here we have seen that we have n-dimensional feature space. So here n-dimensional feature space is there, and we have to reduce, we have to transform this n-dimensional feature space into the m-dimensional feature space. So that we have to transform it into the m-dimensional feature space. But when we will reduce it or transform it to m-dimensional feature space, it should be it should be less than n. Okay, so we consider that we have n-dimensional feature space, and we want to map this n-dimensional feature space into the m-dimensional feature space. So here this m is less than n. Now what is this m-dimensional feature space? So this each of this feature here, so each of this feature here, it is the sum function of the original feature set. Okay, of the original feature set. So this is we want to transform, or this is we want to map the n-dimensional feature space into the m-dimensional feature space, where m is less than n. Now next, when we want to map the n-dimensional feature space into m-dimensional feature space, so how we will map it? So for that purpose, we will use this formula that we want to find a projection matrix. Now here, the projection matrix, it's WT. Okay, so here the projection matrix is WT. So we can write down, here that Z is equal to WT into X. So this is, we want to find this projection matrix where Z is equal to WTX, and it is a projection from this n-dimensional space to m-dimensional space. So whatever Z we will get, so that Z is n-dimensional space. Okay. So now what we expect from this what we expect from such a projection? So from such projection, we just want to reduce some of the features. Okay, we want to reduce some of the features which are not related or which are irrelevant. So that features we want to reduce. So for that purpose, we will do this. We will do this feature extraction. Now, for that purpose, what we will do, we will use that features which are having, large variance. Okay, we will use only that features which are having large variance. Now why we are using that features? It means when we will use the feature at that time, if we consider that every feature is having the similar value. Okay, every feature is having the similar value, and every feature is having the same importance within my data set. Then at that time what will happen? Then at that time we cannot separate that feature, or we cannot reduce that feature, or we cannot use that feature as a classifier. So for that purpose, here we want to distinguish these features. Okay, here we want to distinguish these features. So that for that purpose we will use this variance. Okay, so for that purpose we will use this variance. So this variance, it is used. So this variance is used to find out which feature we have to select. So for that purpose we will use the variance. And now after that we can say that these are some of the instances. Okay, now whatever these blue points are given here, these are the some of the instances. Now we just consider that when we have the instances, when we have the instances, what we will do? So whatever the instances are there, that instances we will write it into the dimensional space. So consider that this is your, so consider that this is your x-axis and this is your y-axis. Okay, so within the two-dimensional feature space you have plotted all these your instances. Okay, so this is your feature space, and within your feature space you have to plot, you plotted all these points. Okay, within the feature space you have plotted all these points. Now just consider that, now for simplicity we consider that whatever the points are here, these are the two-dimensional feature space. Okay, for simplicity we consider that whatever these points lies over here, these are the lies within the two-dimensional feature space. It means here only two features, here only two features are present, and that features are x1 and x2. So these are only two features. So x1 and x2. So these are the two features. So whereas your x-axis it represents the x1 and your y-axis it represents the x2. So like this, only two features are there, and you have to map this two-dimensional feature space. Okay. Now what you want to do? You have to map this two-dimensional feature space to one-dimensional feature space. ठीक है, आपको जो भी यहाँ पे पॉइंट्स दिए हैं, ये पॉइंट्स आपको टू डायमेंशनल फीचर स्पेस में दिए हैं, अब ये आपको वन डायमेंशनल फीचर स्पेस में लेने हैं, मैप करने. ओके, सो फॉर दैट पर्पस व्हाट यू विल डू, you have to select the axis. Okay, so you have to select that axis. On that axis you will map all these points. Okay, now just consider that you will map, you have to draw an axis, so where you will map all these points. Now this is a two-dimensional feature space, so consider that this is my axis. Okay, now this is my axis, or we can say that this is our function. So when we map, when we have such type of a, when we have this axis, then what we will do, we can project each of these points on these lines like this. Okay, you can see that. So we can project all these lines, all these points on these lines like this. So you will get such type of a diagram. Okay, so here what we have done, here we before this we have a two-dimensional feature space, and we want it to the one-dimensional feature space, so we have to select the axis. So for that purpose, here the whatever the red line is given here, so that is your axis, and you have to map all these points on that axis. Okay, so when you will see that, when you will map it, then like this you can see that. Now in contrast this, you can draw the another axis. So that another axis, it will be seen like this. Okay, now this is the another axis for the same point. Now here we can see that again we have mapped these points on that axis. Okay, here we map that points on that axis. So so the final diagram it will be look like this. So now we have these two different projections. Okay, so we have these two different projections, and from that two different projections, from these two different projections, from these two different pictures, which one is the best one? Okay, or which one is the better one, which one we will prefer, that we want to find out. Okay, now we have these two different diagrams. So which axis, so this which axis we will prefer? So basically we will prefer for this axis. Okay, so why we will prefer this axis? Because when we will see that it is having the larger variations. Okay, within this diagram we can see there is a larger variation. So here we can see that whatever the distance, whatever the distance between these two, whatever this distance between this point and the axis, this is the minimum over here. Okay, And here you can see that what is this distance? This distance is very large, right? So therefore we will prefer the second diagram. So that's why we will prefer the second diagram. Now within this second diagram, there is a larger variation, and whatever the distance between the axis and the point, this is the smaller one. So that's why we will go for the second diagram. We will go for this diagram. Now here we can see that we have the number of observations. Just consider that we have the p number of observations. We have the p number of observations for n variables. So for that purpose, we can write down like this. If we have the p number of observations, then x1, x2, x3 up to xp. So p number of observations are there, and there are n variables. So we have to define the first principal component. So how we will find out that? Previously we have seen that we have to calculate the z. So where this x is there, so x is n dimensional feature space, and we have to convert it into the m dimensional feature space. So same is given. So here we have to check for the we have to check for the variance of z. So this variance of z, it should be the maximum. Okay, so variance of z, it should be the maximum. So in this way, we have to calculate the principal component. Now, within this feature extraction, we can say that this principal component, it plays a very important role for the feature extraction. So for that purpose, what we will do, we will just plot certain points as we have plotted over here. So we will plot certain points on the feature space, and then we will take the first principal component, and then we will take the second principal component. Okay. Now just consider that this is our first principal component, and with the help of this first principal component, we will take the another, that is second principal component. So there are certain properties that we have to follow when we will consider the principal component. Now just consider that here we have drawn an axis, okay, that red line axis. So that is our principal component, okay. And when it is principal component, we have to map all our points on our axis. So that is our principal component, okay. So here we have to select a new feature. So how we will select the first feature? Okay, how we will select the principal component? So for that purpose, here we will consider that. Now consider that whatever these red points are given here, these red points are your instances. Okay. Now with to this x-axis, we have shown the feature 1, and to this y-axis it is the feature 2. Okay, so x1 is the feature 1 and x2 represents the feature 2, and we have plotted all these points which are shown in the red color. So that are all these points. Now we have to draw the principal component. We have to draw a principal component. So for that purpose, what we will do, when we will consider the principal component, we have to select the principal component in such a way that its variance will be maximum. Okay. Now uh, our first property to consider the principal component is that the variance should be the maximum one. And our second property is that it should be projected as the both principal components are the orthogonal. Okay, now we will see what is orthogonal. Now basically when we will draw the first one, so here the principal component direction 1 is given. So it is shown with the help of the green line. Now for this principal component, for this principal component, our variance is the maximum one. Okay, our variance is maximum. So here when we will plot this, after plotting this, we have to find out the second principal component. And now when we will consider the second principal component, at that time how we will select it, how we will choose the second principal component. So for that purpose, we just make sure that our first principal component is not related. Okay, it is not related with our first feature. It means our second principal component, it is independent of first principal component, and at the same time it should be orthogonal to the first feature. Okay, it is orthogonal to the first feature. So it means that second principal component, it should not share the any information that is used by the principal component. So here we can see that we have drawn this second principal component. We have drawn this second principal component like this. So here we got these two principal components, that principal component 1 and principal component 2. So though we are getting these two principal component, which one is the best one? Okay. Again, we have to find out that which one is the best one. And here we have drawn only two principal component. Okay. Now here we are not finding for the third principal component. Why we are not finding for the third principal component? Because this diagram is, or whatever the feature space is there, that feature space, it is only a two-dimensional feature space, right? So this diagram, it shows only a two-dimensional feature space. So therefore the number of principal component you can draw over here, it will be it will be it will be equal to number of features, or it can be less than number of features. Okay, it means when it is a two-dimensional features that we have previously seen, that we have x1 and x2, these are the two features. So here only two features we can use. So therefore either you can use one principal component or you can use two principal components. You cannot draw more than two principal component. Why you cannot draw more than two principal component? Because here you have considered only two features. So that's why here our total number of principal components, it is less than 2 or it is equal to 2. Okay, so how many number of features you are considering, you are having, so less than that features or equal to that features your principal component will be. ठीक है, आप जितने आपके फीचर्स होते हैं, जितने फीचर्स है उतने ही आपके प्रिंसिपल कंपोनेंट रहेंगे, या फिर उससे कम प्रिंसिपल कंपोनेंट रहेंगे. ठीक है, so for that purpose here we draw only two principal component. Now the next thing is that when we will draw, okay, so when we will draw the n-dimensional feature space, so at that time we will use a covariance matrix. We will see it in the next lecture. Now here what we will do in covariance matrix, after finding the covariance matrix, we will find the eigenvector in the next lecture, and depending on the largest eigenvector, we will select that eigenvalues, that the eigenvector and eigenvalues are should be maximum. So according to that, we will find out. Now we will see here one of the example, one of the application for the principal component. Okay. Now basically what we are using, why we are using principal component? Because you can see that in real-time data set, we have number of features. Okay. In real-time data set, we have a number of features, and when we have a number of features, now just consider that we have a number of features, and when we have a number of features, we are trying to find such a model. We are trying to find such a model that almost every point should be covered by almost every point should be covered by my function, or should be covered by my model. So for that purpose we will draw such a model. ठीक है. uh, जब आपके पास इंस्टेंसेस रहते हैं तो इंस्टेंसेस रहने के बाद आप क्या करते हो, आप इस तरीके से फंक्शन फाइंड आउट करते हैं कि मैक्सिमम पॉइंट्स आपके वहां पे कवर होने चाहिए, आपके वो जो फंक्शन है फंक्शन पे आनी चाहिए. सो दैट इज योर ओवरफिटिंग. Okay, but when you will have the overfitting, some problem occurs that we have seen previously. And when we get certain points, so that's why here one more, to remove this overfitting, we have the principal component analysis. Okay, इसका मतलब क्या है कि when you have number of features, and when you will use the principal component analysis, you will reduce that number of features. Okay, so for that purpose you will use principal component. It means, now just consider that whatever the points lies over here, these points are the two-dimensional feature space. Okay, now when it is two-dimensional feature space, so you have to map these points to the one-dimensional feature space. ठीक है, यहाँ पे जो भी पॉइंट्स आपको दिख रहे हैं, यहाँ पे हमने एक्स एक्सिस और वाई एक्सिस प्लॉट किया है. और अब हमें क्या करना है, तो अब हमें इसे रिड्यूस करना है, राइट. ओवरफिटिंग का प्रॉब्लम हमें रिड्यूस करना है. सो दैट्स वाई व्हाट वी विल डू, तो ये जो भी टू डायमेंशनल फीचर स्पेस है, अब इसे हम वन डायमेंशनल फीचर स्पेस में रिड्यूस करेंगे या फिर मैप करेंगे. तो मैप करने के लिए यहाँ पे हमने ये जो लाइन आपको दिख रही है रेड लाइन. ओके, सो दिस रेड लाइन इज योर प्रिंसिपल कंपोनेंट. Okay, so this red line is one of the principal component. This is the second red line. This is the another principal component. तो आपको इस तरीके से एक्सेस ढूंढने, प्रिंसिपल कंपोनेंट ढूंढने और प्रिंसिपल कंपोनेंट सिलेक्ट चूज करने के बाद आपको सिलेक्ट करने कि कौन सा बेटर वन है, आइदर दिस वन और आइदर दिस वन. सो यू हैव टू सिलेक्ट दैट. एंड वेयर दिस वेरिएंस इज अ लार्जर, जो आपका गैप है आपके एक्सिस और आपके पॉइंट्स के बीच में, तो वो गैप आपका कम होना चाहिए, जैसे कि आप यहाँ पे देख रहे हो. सो दिस पॉइंट, so you can see here that this point is lies too far away from this axis. Okay, so this difference is less here, so therefore here variance will be the larger, and that's why we will prefer for this principal component. ठीक है, तो जब आप प्रिंसिपल कंपोनेंट सिलेक्ट करेंगे तो आप इस तरीके से प्रिंसिपल कंपोनेंट सिलेक्ट करना कि जहां पे वेरिएंस कम होता है. Okay, now after that, now in this way you have to reduce this feature space. Now after that, when we will see here one of the application of feature space, here one of the application of the principal component analysis. Now so here you can see that this is the original image. Okay, now this is the original image, and within this image you may have certain errors, so you have to remove that. So for that purpose what you will do, you will use this principal component analysis. Okay, now this is the image compression. You have to reduce this image. So for that purpose what we will do, so initially, our principal component analysis, it is equal to 1. It means here we use only one point, one principal component. When we will use only one principal component, your image will look like this. Okay, next. Now, after that, you increase this principal components. When you will increase this principal component, then your image will look better than the first one. Then you will go on increasing this principal component. Now your image will go on increasing the clarity, and your image is also reduced. Okay, so you can consider that here whatever the original image, Okay. Now first you have selected the first one, only one principal component, then you select the two principal component, then 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, and 100. So like this, you have increased this, principal component. Whatever this original image you can see over here, uh, it consists of number of features, or number of things are there. So that is reduced over here, that is totally reduced over here in the first diagram. Then some points are increased over here. Now in p is equal to 2, it means we increase the principal component. Now like this, we increase the number of principal components, and finally when our principal component is equal to 100, then you can see that this diagram is mostly similar to this diagram. Okay, but this diagram is reduced its principal component. Okay, whatever the number of features are there, that are reduced over here when p is equal to 100. Okay, so like this is one of the example of image compression. In the next lecture, we will see that how to reduce these features, how to reduce that features, we will see that. Now you can see that. Okay, so here you can see that we have a certain points over here. Now some points are given in orange color, and some points are given in blue color. So here within the in between two lines, in between these two classes, we have drawn one line. When we will draw such a line, what will happen? This is not the that here again, as we have seen previously. So as we have seen previously, so we will again map these points on this line. Okay, again we will map all these points over here on this line. But when we will map these points on this line, you can see here, okay, blue line and this orange line, orange points, both points are live on this line. And basically when you will see this diagram as in given in oval shape, so you can see that there are the two different classes are there. The two classes are given in orange color, and the second is given in blue color. Okay, so two different classes are given here. But when you will draw an axis and you will map these points on that axis, then you can't classify that points, राइट। आप यहाँ पे अगर इस तरीके से देखते हो, ओवल शेप में हमारे दो क्लासेस है, एक ऑरेंज कलर का है और एक ब्लू कलर का है। बट ये व्हेन यू विल मैप दिस पॉइंट्स ऑन दैट एक्सिस, जब आप मैप करते हो उस पॉइंट्स को एक्सिस पे, तब आप उसे क्लासिफाई नहीं कर सकते। फॉर एग्जाम्पल हियर यू कैन सी दैट फर्स्ट, here you can see that this point it lies on this axis. Again you will see, you can see that this first point it lies on this axis. I will draw it over here. Now this point it map over here, and this point is also map over here. So can you separate that? We cannot separate over here. So these both classes are overlapped here. Now I will show you the second one. Yeah. Now if we plot these points on this axis, okay, on this purple axis, on this purple axis, so then at that time you can classify it, okay, or you can separate it. Now these points are mapped over here. Okay, now these orange points are mapped over here, and these blue points will map over here. So it means you can separate it. Okay, so you can see, you can say that, so whatever the points are lies over here, this will be one class, and what points lies over here, this will be your second class. Okay, so this can be separate over here. So that's why whatever this purple line is shown over here, this will be the good criteria. It means when you will use for the classification, at that time your classes should be separated. Your classes should be separated. Now the next point. So this is your PCA. that is principal component analysis. In the next lecture, we will see the next points, and at the same time, we will see the next point, and we will see that how to calculate. We will see how to calculate this principal component analysis. So that we will see in the next lecture. So here we will stop.